Our rituals are too set in stone. Cemeteries in the city have been mostly built over. The standard practice and the standard process: leveling, compaction, low areas filled with waste, high areas brought low. The few left are guarded like prisons, and only for the use of the very rich. No one says anything about that. No one ordinary. Everyone just puts their dead into a canal. Lots of those around. Free, too. Once, I know, there was an idea of eternal life, or life after death. But everyone has abandoned that idea except them. The rich, I mean, who are like another species. We have not even given our god a name. Maybe in another 1,000 years. On the thick particle board of the coffin, we placed flowers, and on the damp and crawling walls, we hung the necessary artifacts, each giving as tradition specified. Something about the deceased, but also something of ourselves. A single earring, rendering its mate back at the house useless. One glove, a painting or a scrap of sheet music, a lock of hair, a prized lipstick. To represent her finest skills, those of which she was most proud, some illustrated the walls in grease pencil, or tacked up the packaging of toys or whips, hoarded specially for memorials and set aside for these days. And the priest did not bid us be quiet, because we are told to be quiet often enough. And he also gave us no name for that reason, because it is only in mourning that we use the names we like, instead of the names we were given when we were purchased. Each part of the ritual has a purpose, and each successful step has a consequence for the dead. So for duty's sake, we played the game as it was necessary to be played, and the priest blessed the final piece and placed it on the flat, glossy lid of the coffin. It was nearly sunrise. The funerals always happen at sunrise. That too is our tradition. Someone once said, "Yes, now, when we are set free, like fairies in a story, from our bondage, and fly the wide woods." But that itself is a fairy story. We are still bound. This place is the only one we can visit, and the owners of the house look away from our transgression like they look away from death. And the sky is blue-black as a bruise, and the water is the same, and between them, very often, is a single knife-thin slice of gold sun, more beautiful than any metal and any gem at House of Bikeri, and more beautiful than any of us, and more beautiful than any of our clients. And one of the new girls was crying and disoriented. She had been sick on the boat, and luckily her dress was still clean, because we must present ourselves in the church as clean and proud. But she said, "This isn't how funerals go. This isn't how they go." And someone questioned her, and was stunned to discover that she had attended one as a little girl. And I too was stunned. Till I began at the house, I had never heard of a funeral. I repeat, you paid your respects to the family, and you gave a few credits if you had them. And then the body was weighted and sunk in the closest canal. Instead, this girl crying, saying this was not what she remembered. Her family must have been wealthy. I wondered how she had come to the house. Not something we ever ask, that's the rule. That information is only offered freely, and only to friends. For you don't climb to us. You fall only, you don't climb. She had fallen, or been thrown. Now she would never rise again. A long, sad time, never. Someone comforted her, and we clambered upon the rounded backs of the pews to begin the last of the rites. Someone passed around a bag of sweets. Someone passed around a flask of liquor. Wrists rose pale in the darkness, and were blessed with a dab of scent. We were